Hi, everyone. I couldn't be more excited about Welltec's recent decision to move to Russia. Today, I'm going to teach you about our company's new home and prepare you for your upcoming introductions, meetings, and negotiations. First, before we get into the Russian business world, I think it's important we talk about the country's culture. As you may have been able to guess, the official language of Russia is Russian. Unfortunately, most Russians don't speak or understand English. For that reason, it's very important that we become at least competent in Russian before officially moving to Russia. Additionally, many words in the Russian language don't directly translate to English. For example, the Russian word toska means to have an immense or deep yearning for everything and nothing, both at the same time. Confusing, right? Well, in English, it most closely means to be bored or know you want something, but not exactly what. The issue is that the translation isn't direct, and for that reason, as I said, it's important we become competent in Russian before moving to Russia. Additionally, I think it's important we talk about some of the core values of Russians. For nearly all Russians, family is extremely important, and that contributes to their views on structure and power. Russians believe in reporting to those above you and establishing a hierarchy that gives respect to peers. And as I said, that also shapes their values and their beliefs on family and holding it of great importance. Lastly, I want to talk about some Russian customs. Just like in America, how there are bad traditions such as walking under a ladder or seeing a black cat, there are bad traditions and customs in Russia. Specifically, it's thought to be bad luck to whistle indoors, and you never want to do that. Also, to prevent bad luck, you're supposed to be able to, you're said to be able to spit over your shoulder 3 times. But to avoid spitting indoors or spitting at all, most Russians just say tfu, tfu, tfu over their shoulder. Now that we've gone over Russian culture, I'm going to get into some of the spoken communication practices you might experience while doing business in Russia. First, whether in a business setting or just a casual setting, it's always important to be formal. All Russians prefer when you are formal, and to do that, you should use a firm handshake and maintain eye contact throughout. Also, you should never use a first name with a Russian unless they direct you to do so, as that's thought to be informal. Now, getting a little more specific, if we're talking about a casual setting, most Russians aren't really used to small talk. They're a little more reserved. And for that reason, it's important to engage with them. By talking about their country's culture, something Russians hold very highly, it's easy to engage in small talk. And that's something I would recommend. Now, moving to the business environment, Russians are goal-oriented. They want to see results. And for that reason, when operating and talking in a business environment, it's very important to be direct and to the point. As I previously said, Russians don't really like to small talk. And for that reason, they might seem a little private or reserved. But as I also said, they really care about their work. So if you are having a business discussion and you strike a topic that a Russian might care about, be prepared for an emotional response and conversation. Now that we've gone over some of the spoken communication practices you might experience while in Russia, let's dive into written communication. Coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, I think it's very important that we talk about how it's affected the world we are in. I want to direct your attention to this graphic provided by Statistica.com, which asked Russians what technological apps they use to communicate during the COVID-19 pandemic. 96% said that they used messaging apps and 94% said that they used email. And for that reason, it's extremely important that we communicate properly when using written devices. Now, getting into email, similar to in America, there are specific practices you should use when sending a business email. The Russian word "uvashayame" most closely means respect, and that's the first word. Then you should follow it with "господин" and your surname, which rather than Mr. and Mrs. just means Mr. or master, as it's used to show superiority. Finally, it's important to know the difference between you with an uppercase Y and you with a lowercase y. In Russia, you with an uppercase Y is thought to be addressing a specific individual. You with a lowercase y is thought to be addressing a group of individuals, and it's important to know the difference when using the word. Now that we've gone over the different forms of communication that you might experience while in Russia, we can get into Russian business meetings. As I previously said, Russians are very formal, and for that reason, it's important to come to all business meetings in formal attire. Additionally, they're very punctual. You should always arrive on time, and it's standard business practice in Russia to exchange business cards in meetings, so you should bring one and come prepared. Lastly, I want to talk about, or additionally, sorry, I want to talk about the structure of Russian business meetings. Most often, decisions are made outside of the meeting, and then high powers and authorities come together in a meeting to simply ratify the decision. Facts are reviewed, not opinions, and decisions are ratified, not debated. Lastly, I want to get into decision-making that you will experience while doing business in Russia. When you're going through a negotiation with a Russian coworker, you should know that practicing patience is extremely important. Russians love to use tactics to leverage business deals to their advantage. If you show up on time to a meeting and a Russian shows up late, they might be doing that to test your interest and see if you'll leave before they leave. If you know a deadline and you make them aware of it, they might leverage that deadline to get the best deal possible for them. So it's important to be extremely patient and careful when doing business with Russians. If you would like to learn more about the country, here are some additional sources you can look at. And here is my works cited. Works cited continued. Thank you.